Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Edu Ribeiro here. Today is a good day. We're gonna have an incredible drummer, very young one, Ofri Nehemya. Actually, I didn't check how could I say his name perfect, but when he jumped in, we can check that. We had some problems with the connection, but for a start, I will start playing some music for you. I will play Esmerilhando from Gian Correia, and I will change my camera. I hope you enjoy the music. I hope you all guys are very well at home, and thank you for being here. And this program is sponsored by Open Studio Jazz. Be welcome to one more drum conversation. I don't know if we have over here. And
Yes.
yes, Ofri, we are here. Oh, thank you for being
Hey.
here, brother. How are you?
Of course. I'm
man,
well.
man, you are so fast. I will tell for people here because Ofri was in some studio and the connection was not okay, and he said, in 5 minutes I will be home and the connection is better. And less than one music, he is at his home and talking with us. Thank you for that, brother. And
Sure, man. Can you see that I rode my bicycle like crazy?
wow, you're riding your bicycle. You know,
Yeah.
I love to ride the bicycle here too in São Paulo,
Yeah.
and but there is a lot of mountains. I can ride that so fast like that. Just for in my back way, I can do that. But for being in my way, it's very hard to hide in the mountains. Sorry about
Right.
my bad English. You know I am
No
Brazilian.
worries. Man, I'm struggling as well. Like I'm getting better. How are
Oh man.
you? How are you yourself?
I'm fine, Mel. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy to talking with you because, man, um, we are talking a little bit before, and you have told me about you moved to Tel Aviv with
Right.
the COVID, and that was the time that I spent more time in the social medias, and I make contact with you because you you posted some very tricky exercise, jazz exercise with coordination, and I remember that
Right.
I loved that, and I make some chart from that, and we make the first connection, and I'm happy to these times that we can do that. Uh,
Man, it means a lot to me because I really admire you as well as a drummer, and it's great to be here and
oh
talk to
man,
you. You know, it's I don't
oh
take it for granted.
oh man, thank you for that, man. Thank you
Of
for that.
course, of course, man.
Oh, it's a huge pleasure, and I don't know if you want to talk about that, but for me, you seem very young. May I ask you how old are you now?
Sure. I'm 27 now.
Oh man,
Yeah, I used to look younger when I didn't have the beard and the mustache. You know,
yeah, yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
it
But
helps a bit.
it still looks younger, and it's so good to see that. You said that it's so strange, but it's not strange. It's so good. It's beautiful because I'm seeing your videos, and you looks like a very young guy, but playing like a very old guy with a lot of acknowledgement, with a lot of maturity, and with the beautiful sound. I love it, that man. I love it
Thank you,
that
man.
video, the GTO. Is that the name?
Oh,
The trio.
GTO, yeah, basically it's the combination of our the first letters of our name. So G is for Gadi, the pianist, T is for Tal, the bass player, and O is me, Ofri.
Oh man, that video that you play with bursts with a very nice kit, very nice drum kit. I don't know, but what drum kit is that? Is a kind of
Um, Icravioto. Basically, I wish it was mine, you know, but we played in this venue in Switzerland that we really like, and the guy that organizes it is a drummer. His name is Stefan, and he has a bunch of great drum kits and stuff. So it's always a pleasure going there and playing on these beautiful kits, you know, feeling spoiled. I'm not used to that.
man, that is a very nice sound. That is amazing, and the video, the capturing of the video and the playing is very good. I I
Thank you,
I,
man.
um, I I guess that was a video that you guys made with your equipments and things, but it's a Switzerland jazz. Is a jazz club that?
Yeah, it's not a jazz club, but it's a jazz venue. You know,
Yeah.
the guy Stefan, he's producing concerts for the last few years, and every time it gets better and better. So he bought some cameras, and he has a guy that is editing the videos, and every year like it gets upgraded, and the videos now are so great. And also in this concert specifically, we were playing like 360. So instead of being on stage and all the crowd in front of us,
Hmm.
everybody were surrounding us, and we played completely acoustic, which is challenging but amazing. Like for me, I can play only like maximum 40% of
Yeah.
dynamics, because if I play more than that, I would be too loud.
Yeah.
So it was really, really nice feeling everybody around us, and
Around that. Man, you did great. The sound is
thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I saw Melissa Aldana playing the
Yeah.
same venue, with the same characteristic and the same thing.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of questions for you. I make some
Sure.
I make an interview.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
You
made
came
that.
prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. So, please tell us. Are you from Tel Aviv? Is that's is correct?
Basically, yes. I was born and raised in a small town right next to Tel Aviv. It's called Givatayim, and it's basically a suburb. So, like 5 minutes by car, you're in Tel Aviv. It's kind of connected, but basically, it's not formally Tel Aviv. But I would say
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I know. It's the same. We have a lot here. It's
Yeah.
5 minutes by car and 10 minutes in your bicycle.
Yeah.
Maybe
You can
15.
say that. Sure, more like 20.
Okay. And how do you start in the music? What is your starting with the music?
Oh, well, I come from a musical family, so my dad is a drummer.
Wow. What's his
And
name?
so he doesn't play jazz music, but um, he was my role model, since I was young. And my mom is a singer; she's a great singer, and my sister is a singer as well. So I grew up in a musical family, and I couldn't avoid being a musician. And also, I tried playing a bunch of instruments when I was a kid, but I always had this attraction to the drums. So my parents used to just put me on the chair, and I was like 2 or 3 years old, and my legs wouldn't even reach the floor. But I
Yeah.
started playing only with my hands, and then around the age of 5 or 6, I started playing the bass drum.
Wow.
You know, yeah,
Great. And you tell that you start with a different instruments. I saw you playing piano.
right. That's true.
And you play. I remember I think was in the day in the piano player that plays with Coltrane passed away. I forgot his name now. It was
McCoy
last year.
Tyner,
McCoy Tyner, yes, and
right?
you played some kind of solo from McCoy.
Yeah.
Man, you play piano very good, man. That
Thank
was
you.
good.
Yeah,
Uh,
it reaches my knowledge and my vocabulary as a musician, not only as a drummer, because you can be a drummer and you can be a musician. So I try to be um, the complete deal, not only
yeah,
play the drums, but create music in general.
yeah, great, amazing. And
Yeah.
could you tell us the name of your father and your mother?
Sure. My father's name is Naor, is Naor, and
Or
my mom's name is Orly.
Orly. And
Yeah.
please help me to say your surname is Nehemya. Is that
Nehemya,
correct?
yeah.
Nehemya.
If you wanna say it with a Hebrew accent, it's Nehemya with ch.
Nehemya. Nehemya.
Right. Correct.
Yes, I'm learning.
Perfect.
And I'm so curious about the music from Israel. You told
Yeah.
that your father don't play was not a jazz player, and uh, how about the traditional music from Israel? How about this kind of music? There's some rhythm, some name, some style that you can share with us.
It's a very good question and a complex one because Israel is basically a place where all type of cultures um, connect. Because
Yeah.
Israel has started as a place where all the Jewish people can come and like it's the Jewish country, so people came from Europe and from the Middle East and from even South America. Not so many people, but there are. I know some people from like Jewish people from South America in Israel, and like basically all those cultures mixed up together, including the music. So I grew up, for example, on a very very diverse uh, and rich musical culture. You know, from Middle Eastern to classical to I don't know odd meters and this kind of vibe, and it's great. I feel very
Yeah,
lucky. You know.
yeah, you are very lucky. And you know, I was hitting at the. Sorry about the names, huh? It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
me. Uh, his name is Omar Avital. Is that the name?
Right. Omar. Yeah.
It's Omar, the bass player.
Right.
Yeah, and I was listening one album,
Yeah.
and the album start with a rhythm that seems like a Brazilian rhythm. Is a three
Oh,
three two packet pachi taka packet pachi taka packet pa.
like
That
Bayao kind of
yeah,
vibe.
for us it's a kind of bio, but there is a different accent. What what do you call how do you call this rhythm there? Because I realized that you guys played the first song and the second. There's a very similar rhythm, and it went back in some of different songs.
Right. Do you remember which album was that, or what was the name of the song?
No, no, I'm
I'm
so
trying
sorry.
to think of it, but I know what you're talking about because this is one of the most popular Middle Eastern grooves, and it's called Malfuf basically. And
Mm,
I think
mm,
Malfuf, there are two types of grooves. Like one of them is Malfuf, but the first one is boom boom chuck boom boom chuck, and the other one is boom chuck chuck boom chuck chuck.
yes,
So one
yes,
bass drum, two snares, or two bass drums, one snare, but the same rhythmic figure.
yes.
Um, and yeah, this is very very popular here in like we have a very strong scene of like Middle Eastern music that is influenced by the Arab cultures and Middle Eastern cultures, like North Africa, like Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
Morocco, and these kind of countries. And this groove is like very, very strong, very like one of the basic ones, I would say. Also in Israeli culture, and Omer, for example, took this groove and he's using it a lot because um, it's very
It's
basic.
yeah, it's basic and it's easy
Right.
to listen and to make
Correct.
music. But for us, one more question about this rhythm. For us, it's a kind of biome. This
Yeah.
3 3 2 packet pachi paka pa. Yes, we have the changing about bass drum, snare, bass drum, and we have these colors, but it didn't came from the drum set. It didn't came from percussion. It didn't. It came from zabumba. That is a different instrument, and
Right.
triangulo. And I suppose that this rhythm in your country didn't come from the drum set. I suppose that it comes from some percussion instrument.
Sure. I can't tell you the exact names, and I think it had a lot of history getting to what it is today. But probably yes, like percussions, and the drum set is only um, the evolvement of the thing. Like it came only later when drum set was available, and this type
Yeah.
of grooves is probably much before like the 1900s, like, and the
Okay.
drum set is only from like 920 or
Yeah.
so.
20. Yeah. Yeah.
So it
And,
came later.
but you can remember the name of the instruments from percussion that plays that before.
Well, there is darbuka, for example. You're like catching me in. I'm not very strong with that.
No problem, no problem.
We
We're
know
just
in the
talking.
history.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah, no, I feel guilty because I'm from Israel and I should know this
If
kind of
if you
thing.
s- if you start to talking with me about the percussion of Brazil, I will do the same. I just say some names, not so deep. I never was so deep with that. but
Okay. So,
great.
yeah.
And but this one you can teach me, because for me, when I play by own, the subdivision is 16 notes like that, alternated strokes on the snare.
Okay.
How is the subdivision for your rhythm?
Um, I think it is 16 notes, but what I notice, and this is what makes those grooves different, um, is that the feel is totally different. Like if you play like the Brazilian kind of accent
Uh
to
huh.
those to this groove, I think um, in this type of groove it's also like 16 notes oriented, but it's not like ta 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 ta. It has a different type of uh, like maybe the three notes like boom chuck chuck boom chuck chuck is
Yep.
somewhere in between this to a triplet like boom chuck chuck boom chuck chuck boom. So
Wow.
it's hard to say. It's hard to, like, when you notate it, it seems very straight, like
Yeah.
quarter, dotted
Yeah.
quarter and a quarter, but it's not that. Basically the feel
Yeah.
is what makes it its own, you
Oh,
know.
that's the magical from the music. That the difference between the accents and from the same thing, but the accent is so different and is a different rhythm.
Right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
Sure.
that. Uh-huh.
I wish I
And
could just examine. I wish I could just show you on the drum set, but basically I don't have a hi-hat stand here in my apartment.
no problem. And seems to be very late now in your home. What time is it now?
Well, it's 10:30 p.m., but I'm a jazz musician, so I'm used to hanging out late.
Yeah,
It's not
but
a problem.
you can play this time at home, at your apartment.
Well, probably quietly. I wouldn't count on like playing super loud, but I can
Yeah,
try doing something like super quiet.
man. Because here, if I play 10 p.m. in my apartment, the police came to my door at the same time. It's
Yeah.
one snare, pa, and the police is there. Hey, what are you
Oh,
doing?
yeah. Luckily, it's not 10 p.m.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and I saw a lot of videos that you are imitating
Oh
important
yeah.
drummers. Man, that is amazing.
Oh,
And
thank you, man.
I want to ask you, how is your who is your influence with the
Ooh.
drums?
You're asking good and hard questions. I try. I'll try to. I'll try to go through most of them, but it has to do with what specific time in my life it is,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
so I can start with when I was very young. I got exposed to a lot of fusion music,
Uh huh.
um, and so my all time favorite and like the closest to my heart would be Dennis Chambers.
Yeah.
um, I love Dennis, and since I was like 6 years old, he was my favorite drummer. And actually, a fun story is that we had a Zildjian Day cassette in our house. You know those Zildjian Days they used to make, like through the 80s and 90s there
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like video cassettes of like Zildjian Day. So we had, I think, the Zildjian Day from 84 on a cassette, and every day when I used to come back from kindergarten, I was like 5 years old, I used to like sit and watch Zildjian Day, and it had like Vinny Caliuta and Steve Gadd and Alex Acuna and like bunch of drummers, Peter Erskine, Steve Smith, and I used to just like watch it like full of joy and like try to digest and learn from it as a kid. I remember, so I can include all those drummers as well, like Vinny, uh, and Steve Smith. I really loved Steve Smith and Peter Erskine, and later Dave Weckl, when I started listening to like Chick Corea and stuff, and then later, um, when I got into high school and started playing jazz, then you have the old school cats that I till today, like Tony and Elvin,
Hmm.
Jimmy Cobb,
Mm-hmm.
Philly Joe Jones,
Mm-hmm.
Max Roach. Like I had
Yeah.
my phases with each one of those, and also lately during high school, I remember really listening a lot to Eric Harland. He was one of my favorite drummers.
He's amazing.
Yes, and lately, like the last one that influenced me the most is Marcus Gilmore. He's just
Wow.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
and every time I listen to him, he's um, it's just I have no words, because there are a lot of drummers that I just appreciate so much and love what they do, but with Marcus, it's just a lot of the times I just don't understand how he's doing what he's doing, and that's what makes me so curious, and just like I want more of that, because I've heard once like that what attracts you the most is what makes you curious,
Mm-hmm.
and what you don't understand is what you want to explore, and Marcus is it's never ending. Like I'm always
Yeah.
curious and never asking questions about like what is he doing, so
Yeah.
Marcus definitely is one of my favorite
Wow.
drummers as well.
Wow. He's amazing. I met him in Japan,
Okay.
maybe 2002. He was a teenager, and he
Oh
was.
man.
I went to play in a festival, and he was with the teenager big band playing in the some parts of the festival, and he was maybe 14 or 15, but
Ah,
man,
damn.
was amazing because he plays with of course there is technique, there is time, there is a lot of things, but the taste was amazing. That you are saying is something that is not explicable. It's not we can tell that it's something
Right.
that is between the acknowledgement and his life and his way to it. Yeah.
Right, and he for sure grew up in like an environment that he soaked up all jazz music, and there is no uh, there's no need to say that he's the grandson of Roy Haynes, but I'm
Yeah.
sure like it has like he's himself. He's such a great drummer, I'm sure he grew up since a super young age, like listening to this music and soaking up all this
Yeah.
love and passion for jazz and history, and you can just hear that he's the he's one of a kind, and he's like pushing the boundaries of drums in jazz, like the new Tony Williams or something. It feels
Yeah.
to me like he's one of the most important drummers around these days, and it will
Great.
be even more
Yeah.
influential in the
Yeah.
future.
Great. Great. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of people talking here.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
gonna say hello for everybody, and
Hey,
I will read some comments. Okay.
on
And
YouTube, where are we?
we are in YouTube, Open Studio YouTube.
Oh, I hear
But
now. I see in the comment section. Okay.
yeah, I will read some ones. Paulina
Yes.
Mercado says, "Hi Open Studio, I love you guys. Keep bringing great material to the community." Thank you, Paulina. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, Paulina is a good friend of mine from Mexico. So, hi.
oh, great, Mexico. There is a great musicians in Mexico. A great drummer too. Antonio Sanchez is from
Of
Mexico.
course. Of course,
Oh,
the one and only.
and, and Ivan Souza de Abreu says, "Hi, Open Studio. Cheers from Brazil." Cheers, Ivan. Obrigado por estar aqui. Ignacio,
Obrigado.
obrigado. You can say obrigado.
Obrigado.
Ignacio Lovet Roca says, "Hello from Barcelona. Good vibes." Thank you, Ignacio.
Yeah.
Oh, Barcelona. Leo Yuch says, "Ofri, the goat."
Wow, what a great compliment.
And Suhan Kurtaniuzi, hello from Israel.
Hello to you
And
too.
this one you have to read for me, please. I can't read Rachel, please put the next one for us.
It says shalom. You know what it means?
Shalom is a kind of what it means.
Hello.
Hello, shalom.
Shalom. Yes.
Oh, great.
It's one of the basic words in Hebrew.
But it's hard
Shalom.
to write to me. I can't write that.
Okay. Yes.
I think I prefer try to play that old times that you play very easily than try to read that. I think it's easier. And the the MoTube says I would like him to talk about preparing to record the latest album with Shai Maestro. Could you say that?
Sure. Sure. Good question.
That
Um,
actually
let
that is
yeah.
amazing album. I heard that.
Thank you so much, man. Let me just remember what happened the few months before the record. I remember that like we made two albums. I made two albums with Shai for ECM Records, and the first one was a trio album, and this second album was a quartet with Philip Dizak on trumpet. And I remember um, Shai was looking for a while for adding another member for a new project, and since the beginning, like Philip was talking the same language that we were talking in terms of like communicating through the music and listening and like creating something that is very very um, um, like I would say free oriented and like is based on like creating something new now and not um, not sticking to like some patterns or things like that. And I remember like rehearsing with Philip, and first of all, like the quartet sounded really really nice, and it just I don't think we prepared too much in terms of like except learning the new music. It's just so easy to play with those guys. And also like a part of trying being tight with the tunes, we leave a lot of space to create at the moment, so it feels to me like every time we play it's something else. So basically this record we just captured a specific moment, and if we would record like a week later it would be something completely different, you know. So um, preparing to that was mostly like just rehearsing and learning the tunes, and we had a few shows before just to get the material kind of feel it a little bit, and then we would just went into the studio for like 2 days, and that's it. In
Yeah,
France, we recorded in France.
that was amazing. Beautiful album, beautiful
Yeah,
sound,
thank you.
and I start to listen that um, uh, expecting very hard music, very hard time signatures all times, and the album is so soft, so easy
Right.
to listen in.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
melodic and amazing. And Fikret Neishrular says, "Hi from Azerbaijan.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for being here." And Felipe Continentino. Felipe, I don't know if you know Felipe. Felipe is a good drummer from Brazil, young as you. Maybe he's 25, 26, but good one. Do you know him?
No, but as you say, like prazer ao conhecer, something like that.
Yes, prazer em te conhecer.
Yeah, nice to
Nice
meet
to
you, man.
meet you. And abraço, Felipe. Obrigado por você estar aqui. And Mudechem says, Mududechem, Ofri is a giant. Slim but a giant. Musical giant. I'm a guitarist but admire Ofri from day one I heard him. I
Thank
agree
you
with
so
you.
much,
Me
man.
too, brother.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear.
I say the same. I say the same.
Thank you.
And Arturo Seni says Danny Chamber is out of this world. I agree
Right,
too.
I agree. His halftime shuffle, right?
Yeah, he's got time shuffle. And Mosa Varogli, greetings from Germany. Thank
Right.
you for
Hello.
being
Hello to you
here.
too.
And Nedin Huakan says, "Heyo from Istanbul."
Hello too.
Oh, people from
Teşekkür ederim.
yeah, oh, I didn't get this one.
That's like in Turkish. Thank you or something like.
Okay. And Rogério Pitomba says something like that. Rogério Pitomba also is a drummer from the northeast from Brazil, great drummer. You have to came here, brother, to know these drummers, to know these people.
Man, I
You're
was
gonna
in
love
Brazil one time in Sao Paulo and in Horizonte.
Belo Horizonte. This one,
Um,
Felipe Continentino is from Belo Horizonte.
oh, killing.
I'm from São Paulo.
Right, so I was there a few years, maybe like 3-4 years ago with Omer. Actually, we played
Uh,
two festivals, and I miss Brazil so much, man.
oh man. And Hurt Faber says hello, Ofri and Edu. Greetings from the Netherlands. Ofri, can you share some of your favorite contemporary music from Israel?
Ooh, sure. Let me think about it for a second.
I like GTO Trio.
Contemporary music. Are you talking about like Israeli cultural music or Israeli jazz? Because what happens today in Israel, like contemporary music from Israel that is in the radio, it's kind of the same as like in the US or all over the world. I feel like there is a sense of globalization
Yeah,
in
the
terms of
same
like
here.
the beats and like the production and like the auto tune and like the you know the like if the thing that is going well right now in the US is reggaeton or like trap, so that's what's happening all around the
Yeah,
world. So if you open like the radio in Israel, you would hear a lot of Israeli artists doing like what's contemporary worldwide, but still there is a lot of great Israeli music that is not like maybe the most popular, but I can surely share some names that influenced me a lot in terms of like Israeli music that is not necessarily very new, but like Israeli artists that and songwriters that influenced everybody here a lot. So maybe could I write it down somewhere? Like I would say,
if you I don't know if you can write in the chat.
um,
Maybe
uh,
you can write on private chat and Rachel put for us.
right.
Could
So,
could be that, Rachel?
shh,
Yes.
yes. Okay,
Can
I'll just
do.
write it down.
Okay.
So first one, one of my favorites is Yoni Rechter. So Yoni Rechter is a great composer. He's influenced by classical and jazz music, and he's like around 70 years old, and he composed four singers, and he composed and wrote lyrics himself, and he has so many work and history of work as a band leader and as like composer, and this is one name, so I'm writing it down. He's more like jazzy, but also like Israeli contemporary, like not. It's a great mix in between jazz and Israeli music and classical. Another name is Mati Kaspi, which is one of the greatest Israeli singer-songwriters and composers, and I think he's around the same age as Yoni, and both of them are kind of considered the fathers of like contemporary Israeli, um, like songwriting, like for example Jobim in Brazil,
Yeah.
or maybe those guys are more like Djavan, that
Yeah.
they write lyrics and music as well, and very
Yeah.
influential.
Oh, great.
A
I'm excited to check that. Yoni
yes,
Hitcher, and you have to write the second one.
yes, Mati Kaspi, and I'm trying to think of um,
Mati
other
Kaspi.
contemporary. Yes,
And
there is another great singer that I'm feeling very lucky to be playing with in the next few months. That is another father of Israeli music, and his name is Shalom Hanoch, and he's more on the rock side, but like heavy. I wouldn't say heavy, but it's like light heavy rock in Israeli music. I'll write his name as well, and he had a lot of albums with great songs. And actually, my mom was his backup singer for a while in
wow.
the 90s.
Wow.
So it's a fun reunion.
Wow. Good, good. And
Yes.
Lucas Santos is asking, is Mati Caspi with just
Right.
one T or with two T's, Mati?
Maybe two T's. You know what? We can check that, but I'm sure if you write with one T, you will find the person.
Okay, okay. But well, are you talking about Israel music and for today? And for me from Brazil, I'm sorry about if I'm saying wrong things, but is growing up the names in the jazz scene from Israel from 20 years from 20 years later from now, and I saw a lot of incredible musicians, incredible drummers, incredible piano players, incredible bass players, and who is teaching in Israel this kind of music? Who is the
You,
teachers?
y- you are asking the perfect question because this is the source of all the education, and so well, this is a short story. So there was a guy by the name of Amit Golan,
Hmm.
and before I get into his story, let me say that there is a high school. I went to this high school by the name of Telma Yalin, and this is a high school for arts, and it has a great jazz department. And so, not all the great Israeli jazz musicians studied there, but I would say a big percentage, including Shai Maestro, Gilad Hexelman, Avishai Cohen trumpet, Eli De
Ooh.
Gibri, Omer Avital, like those cats are graduates like in uh, apart, like 30 years apart or 20 years apart of each other. Like me and Omer are maybe 25 years apart, but we still went to the same high school. And at some point there was a guy by the name of Amit Golan that he came from back from New York, I guess in the 2000s or maybe late 90s, and he started teaching their jazz history. And his passion for jazz was so strong that he didn't only teach the material or the history, he really transmitted this passion for jazz to his
Hmm.
students. And it's not easy to make like 14 years old love jazz, like traditional
Yes.
jazz. And this guy has taught there for like probably around 20, I'm not sure exactly,
Hmm.
around 20 years or so. And unfortunately, when I was 17, when I still was in high school, he passed away in
Oh.
high school. He had a heart attack, and it was like the saddest day. He played
Wow.
basketball with the
Uh huh.
students in the break. He played
Uh huh.
basketball with them. It was
Uh
like the students that were 1 year
huh.
younger than me. They played basketball with him, and he passed away during the game.
During the
And
game. Oh man, that is a sad story.
super sad, and it was a big loss to the jazz scene because he was the educator of so many of the jazz musicians, including Shai Maestro, for example, or Gilad
Wow.
Exelman,
Man.
that got to study with him. And the passion for jazz came from this guy. And also, I think a part of Amit, I think that it has to do also, there is something in Israel and the fact that we're exposed to a lot of types of cultures and a lot of types of music, that maybe my opinion is maybe because this is the situation since we're very young, maybe it's easy to adapt for us to new cultures of music. So when we start playing jazz, we're open for already for a lot of types of grooves and musical cultures and
Yeah.
types of beat feelings and harmonies and
Yeah.
this kind of vibe. So
Yeah.
so that could be another explanation why jazz is very strong in Israel, because we are very good in adapting new music since young age. Like the the variety of music types and genres here are many,
Uh
so
huh.
that makes
Man,
maybe the difference.
that's is very good. That that possibility to adaptation from any kind of music. That is a kind of essence of the music of the jazz and anything. That
Right.
great, man. We have one more comment from Steven Noronha. When playing with Shai Maestro and George Roger, what kind of approach do you guys take with the tunes? Are the arrangements very fleshed out, or do things change from night to night on tour?
Fleshed out means probably like very, very particular, I would say.
Are the arrangements very fleshed out, or do things change
Fleshed
from?
out. I think I
Uh,
understand what it means from the context. Basically, the concept is that we create something else every night. So, um, this freedom of creating anything we want comes from knowing the tunes very well.
mhm.
And then when we study it very well, we start losing it up. So basically, every night is something completely different. We never go on stage with a set list. So there is a list of like 40 tunes that we can play from previous albums, or like we know the repertoire. And the show usually starts with Shai just like starting to play something on the piano, starting from one note and like playing an intro for something, and then he would play, for example, he would throw a hint like dum dum, like something super simple, and we right away we would know, me and Jorge, we know what song he's playing.
Yeah.
But in another case, it happened a few times, like we go on stage and I decided that I want to start now, so I'm starting with something on the drums, and then I lead them to play whatever song I want to play. And so that feels really good, that although it's Shai Maestro's band, he always says that, and he repeats that he really wants us, he really wants to be able to ride on our back as well. Like he doesn't want to necessarily lead all the time and feel like
Yeah.
we are going after him. He wants us to be able to throw him out and give him ideas, and for us to lead the show as band leaders as well. And it comes from a very strong trust between us, and we're not afraid to fuck up or to be wrong, because there is no being wrong basically. um,
Great.
and he has something that is very fun and very, I think this approach is amazing. Like he calls it shit thank you. So basically when you're making a mistake, your first instinct is to think, shit, I made a mistake, what should I do?
Uh huh.
And then you say thank you, okay, let's use it and do something with it. And so basically that's our concept, because there is no mistake. Like whatever happens, we just go with the flow and create, and we trust each other, that each one of us will lead the right way. And
Wow.
that's
Wow.
what it is, and it's super super freeing. We're able to fly and being 100% in the moment, and it's never like automatic pilot that you play the set list and okay, I know the kicks, I know the song. Like we always create a new story every night, so this makes it exciting, and we're able to just to be there,
Wow.
be there
Great.
100%.
Using the mistakes. That is amazing. If you did
Yeah,
a mistake, work on that. Work on that. It's gonna be good.
it's not a
And
mistake, it's a new idea.
yeah, yeah. And about the GTO Trio, who did
Yes.
the arrangements? Who did the songs? How is the next project? How is working that trio now?
Well, I'll tell very shortly what it is and how it started. So basically, GTO Trio is a trio that I have. It's a collective trio, so there is no specific band leader,
Mm-hmm.
and we are Gadi Lehavi, that is an amazing pianist, Israeli. I don't know if you heard of him before. He played with Ravi Coltrane and with Chick Corea. Actually, he's a really, really, really amazing player, and he's actually younger than me. He's like a phenomenal piano
Yeah,
player.
he's amazing.
Yes, and Tal Mashiach is the bass player, and so I know Gotti since we're like he was 12 and I was 14, and I remember our first gig. We played in a wedding as like a background music.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like both of us, I was like beginning of high school, he was like middle school or so. And I remember our musical connection was very strong since the beginning. And with Tal, I met when we were around uh, maybe 18, when I was auditioning to the army band. I served in the army in Israel. So when I served in the army band, he was already in the army, and he was the bass player in the audition. Like he auditioned me to the army band. So that's how I knew him, and we got to play a lot since then. First of all, I had a quartet, and so this trio started. Um, do you know? Have you heard of a guy in Japan called Kohei Kawakami?
Kohei Kawakami. I'm sorry, no.
He's a very heavy cat. Like he's around 60 something years old, and for 30 years he's bringing people to Japan, like from, I don't know, people like Stanley Clark, to, I don't know, today's people like Shai Maestro, or like
Mm-hmm.
the contemporary artists from New York. And me and Gadi and Tal, we all met him in different situations in Japan, and then he told us, okay, you wanna come as a trio, and we didn't have a trio yet, and so he just brought us, he kind of glued us together, and then we said, okay, so in Japan it's a good opportunity to sell CDs, so why wouldn't we record an album? And
Uh-huh.
so we recorded our first album in Gadi's living room in Tel Aviv. We
Uh-huh.
brought a great sound engineer, and that's how the first album started. And we went to Japan, and it was a big success. And we loved playing together so much that we just kept playing music together and composed together. And it
Yeah.
started like that, but
Wow.
it's a
Wow.
totally legit band right now.
What is the name from the guy from Japan? The Ko Kohi?
His name is Kohei. I'll write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We have to say thank for him.
yes, for sure. He's
Yeah.
such a great guy, lover of jazz, and he did a lot for jazz in Japan. I'm sure, like bringing American, Israeli, or worldwide musicians to Japan to tour. Like,
Kohei Kawakami. Okay,
yes,
man. Oh, great. And
yes.
there is your compositions there in GTO too?
Right. So we all compose, and it's pretty much like each one of us brings a few tunes.
Mm-hmm.
So the first record that we had, like I have 3 tunes, Tal has 4 tunes, Gadi has 3 tunes, and
Yeah,
there is one
yeah.
arrangement of like a Paul Simon song. And actually, the album is now on YouTube again, but it should work. So if you want to access the album, it's you just type GTO Trio on YouTube, and the album is there, and it's working in Brazil right now, because
Oh,
before that it didn't work for some reason, streaming reason. So
yeah,
I hope it works now. I'm
yeah,
sure, because I did it
yeah.
today.
I will check that, and you say people here, please check GTO Trio. That is amazing music. Please, these guys are doing amazing music. Hey, Ofri, we are
Yes.
going to our end. Okay.
Okay. It was too
Oh,
short, man.
yeah, it was too short, man. But I want to say one more time. I want to say thank you for Rachel and Open Studio. It says
Yes.
that this program is roasted by is sponsored by Open Studio, and I want to say thank you for everybody that came here today, for stay with us, for talking with us, for talking with Ofri. And
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for being here, for riding so fast and secure your bicycle to have this conversation. And please take your time to say hello and goodbye for people here.
Um, yeah. First of all, I'm very honored and happy being here, and thank you for the invitation. And it's
Oh,
great to meet you finally. And again, I
Finally.
really admire your work and what you do, and it's
Oh,
a great deal being here.
thank you,
And
brother.
yeah, I want to thank everybody that's watching and listening to music in general and live shows in general, because we need people out there to be listening. And thanks for everybody that like what I do. It really touches my heart, and I hope I can give more inspiration as much as I can to people in the next years. And thank you again. No,
Yeah, you are inspiring us. It's for
thank
sure.
you,
Please
thank you.
keep doing that. Hey,
I will.
hey, brother. Goodbye. Thank you
Bye,
so much
Edu.
for being here, and tchau para
Sure.
todo mundo. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for
Bye.
being
Ciao,
here.
ciao.
Have a
Obrigado.
safe week. Obrigado. Tchau, pessoal. Tchau.